Well, hello there. Welcome to Versions, the series where I try to survive 100 days of hardcore Minecraft in every version of the game. Today, we're on 1.8, the Bountiful update, but should really be called the Oceans Are Less Boring Now update, as it finally added a bit of spice to a very bland part of the game, bringing in a new structure and a new boss, and much more. Will I be able to take over? Let's find out. Spawning in with the second layer of my skin, again I apologized for not putting my Steve suit on, but I still checked myself out. This level of unprofessionalism will not be tolerated much longer, and I'll personally make sure that the parties involved are apprehended and taken care of. For some reason I thought being naked was better. Then I got started on my starter pack, making sure to pay a visit to the witch hut nearby. Still no witch though. After upgrading to stone tools, I discovered a new item. Mutton. I was very excited to have a new food source. Feels kinda weird after the pink sheep sanctuary, but okay. But not as excited as I was for the new stone variants. I'm not being sarcastic. Finally, the caves are colorful again. What a sight to behold. I had to keep moving though. Finding bunnies. The grown-ups are huge. Something is definitely in the water in this version. But day 3, I had a full iron. So naturally, I made a nether portal and spawned right beside a fortress, where I proceeded to get all the blaze rods. I'm not even gonna whiff of death. Nah, I was breathing clean air the whole time. I ended up with a couple of diamonds for my troubles. With the game lagging on the achievements, I had a really hard time finding a blaze spawner, but turned out not to be an issue as the spawn rates around the fortress were awesome. So I ended up with all 10 rods without needing a spawner. Pretty cool. Once I made it to the overworld, the game decided to give me the nether achievement. Not sure it knows what's going on. I also don't know what's going on, but I found my favorite kind of bunny, so everything turned out to be okay. After showing off, I found what I was looking for. An ocean. But it didn't have what I was really looking for, so I continued exploring, finding a really pretty area. But not on this version. No, my goals for 1.8 is to find an ocean monument, take over the ocean monument, be it hostile or friendly, and lastly to drain it. An experience I believe every Minecraft player should do in their lifetime. So I got to do it in the inaugural version of this bad boy Halo. More bunnies later, I found a village, where I got a good old trusty horse, and continued finding rabbits. These guys are massive. I couldn't stop looking at them. I did get distracted by another witch hut by an ocean, so I said see you later to horse and set off. Finding the belle of the ball, an ocean monument. Very excited, I boarded right over the top, where the workers showed me it wouldn't be a peaceful takeover. I also got the new effect, so I proceeded to happily wait for it to go away. The best part of this monument was the proximity to my horse, so I set up shop at the witch hut and made a mine. One simply doesn't take on the guardians with iron armor. No, I need diamond. In the process, I got gold and redstone for a clock. Welcome, good friend. After catching my breath a bit, I continued to mine, finding a couple caves along the way where I got obsidian and made an enchanting table, where I gambled hoping for fortune 3. Nope. I took my anger out on Enderman, but the RNG was against me still. Until I gained the higher ground and game recognized game, so I got a pearl. I didn't want projectile protection, so I got more diamonds, told my horse to shut it, and enchanted my helmet. At least I was able to get the remaining diamonds for a full set of armor, and the protection 4 I was hoping for. So looking good, I hopped into the water where I noticed it's dark. And knowing the whole point of this project is to showcase the new stuff, there's really no way this is going to be enjoyable. So I set out for the solution. I remember the village where my horse is from had carrots. So taking them all, I headed back where I skillfully covered them in gold, and proceeded to make the finest night vision potions this world has ever seen. I also enchanted my sword where I got sharpness 3. Very happy to be honest, knowing the takeover was going to be very hostile. So I made my breathing apparatus and set off. Everything was going according to plan, until I panicked after the first hit I took, as I realized there's no sprint swimming in this version. So I said, "F it," I mean, I said, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And just keep swimming I did, making it to the entrance alive. So I locked myself in and showed the people I mean business. I was relieved when I found the sponge room. I really didn't want to do this twice. After very slowly walking through the water, I came across the first Elder Guardian room. So I prepped it seeing the boss was on her break. I ambushed them at the water station where they call reinforcements. So I used my good old trusty doors to zigzag my way to victory. Let me tell you, it's a slow process, this takeover business. The swimming mechanic makes it so much more anxiety inducing, mostly because you feel the sapping can come any second. So you gotta be more strategic about it. Big brain wins the race. The last Elder Guardian gave me troubles to find, so I decided to just keep swimming again for some milk. Then I proceeded to do Operation Breakthrough Roof flawlessly. Woohoo! Not gonna lie, it was squeaky bum time, that one. Now that I was the sole owner of my home, I made a new front entrance and started draining it. That was just for the show. I actually had to spend a while mining the sponges in the first place. So after clearing the room, I moved on to the second sponge room. That's right, I'm a lucky son of a... Draining my room first so I can move my stuff in. This was sadly not going to be a one trip only. The Guardians are really not taking the layovers well. I really enjoyed draining the inside of the monument. 100% my favorite part of the experience. Once sponges had to dry, I made more trips to get my stuff. Can let the neighbors know I'm multi-tripping it. The big rooms were pretty scary, but nothing sponge spamming can't do. I've seen people do it more meticulously, but where's the fun in that? Last but not least, I got my enchanting table and brewed more night ones. The big rooms were a bloodbath. For some reason, I didn't grab all the bookcases, but once I did, it was right back to the bath. There's probably a better way. Still gets the job done though. I did make a mistake. I left a really big room for last, letting the Union set up camp. So I loaded up on sponges and drained them hard. I was taking big damage though, so I enchanted my armor to try to mitigate it. But running away turned out to be the most effective way not to die. By day 36, I had cleared out the main room and officially completed the drainage. Off the inside, I will say the funnest part, but not the most relaxing. That one is coming up. Down in the mines, I got jumped by two dripped out skeletons. I don't know which outfit was better, so I got them both. I mined for diamonds so I could make a shovel and enchant it. There was no way I was going to do the next part without it. So after finding a desert, I got right to work, but not before taking a before shot, like every documentary does. My inventory got full pretty quickly, so I headed back home and started the process of sand placing. And soon I had the tippity top all drained out. I had to keep running away as the Guardians were still putting up a fight, but no matter as I had another square all drained out. I'm a very skilled torch placer. See? The process was simple. Place sand, run out of sand, drain sections, take a quick trip to the mines because you need more torches, then get distracted by the need to go deeper. And that's how you get to the Nether. There was a fortress right around the corner, but I wasn't interested on that. I wanted quartz, more specifically the levels associated with the blocks. So I got up to level 30 and enchanted a new shovel, as the last one took a beating on its first day on the job. But it wasn't dead yet, so I used it all the way up and combined the two. Seeing that I was in a desert in the nighttime, I used that opportunity to Enderman hunt. Who am I to say no to 2 pearls? And a chicken jockey! This creeper finally completed its job. And I got 2 more pearls, taking me to 5. Pretty cool. I got a bit more sand and continued the process. Place sand until you run out. Drain, baby, drain. Sometimes you'll end up with a guardian to take care of. Then it's torch placing time. Rinse and repeat. Taking on the entrance was pretty exciting, as it's dark down here, but once the water is gone, it's beautiful. I somehow placed torches under sand without having the sand break. Skills. Maybe that's the skill that comes with playing over 1,000 hours of Minecraft. Yes, a very useful skill. I was feeling the luck in the air, so I kept Enderman hunting throughout the night. Then on the day was back to sand gathering, as at the moment the amount of sand I have doesn't just let me keep the process continuous, so a bit of manual labor will do. Now that I'm getting to the deeper zones, I get to take care of more guardians. It's an exciting mob to fight. Slime's still number 1 though. I became so good at torch placing, sometimes I placed 2 at the same time. Then on day 57, I finally made it to the edge of the monument. Huge accomplishment, but I'm still running out of sand. So this time I took the time to make another highway to the desert. Cave, I mean. A cave under the desert. Of course Minecraft, thank you. Not even a pearl for my troubles, I put the portal where I wanted it to be. And continue Enderman hunting. I don't know what was happening this night as Enderman decided to play Matador. But I got him. And the zombie that tries stealing. The desert is looking like this, so I can look like this. I took a wee bit of a break for lava and diamonds, but I was right back to draining. I didn't know that when you drain a sponge with a lava bucket, you get a water bucket in return. Pretty cool. I wonder if that's like that in the current game. Yes, I'm getting closer to the edge of the monument, just don't think about the bottom section. I made it to a door I had used a long time ago to survive the takeover, but now it's purely decorative. There's probably a better way to do this, but is it funner? I got to open up the entrance and almost die on the same day. Stupid guardians making me look bad in front of my friends. Seems like I had PTSD as I panicked too much the next time I saw one and took the hit. At this point I was very scared for time, so I stopped sleeping, even in real life. Haha, no just kidding, don't do that. Another door was found, but I had to go. The weather agreed it was a sad moment. Or perhaps monument? A guardian dropped a pufferfish. It was a very exciting twist of events. Which is exactly why I feel everyone needs to do this kind of project. Because it makes you feel so incredibly bored. But the good kind of bored. Not the mind-numbing, but the mind-calming. It's simple and repetitive, but there's still a sense of danger coming from the guardians, so you can't be too lax about it. At this point I started to take over the bottom, and made an incredible discovery. Breaking a sponge with your hand is the same speed as breaking it with a hoe. By day 67, I finished draining the bottom, but a creeper spawned in and almost ended the world. Maybe I should have left the water. I still opened my doors and watched the sunset on this beautiful day. A baby zombie tried stealing sand from me, he got the sword. I started taking care of the mob problem and the other mob problem. And by day 70, I had a basement. Now that that was taken care of, I went up to the top and push, until I had no more sand. I started making the outline. I was hyped for this. And guardians were too. I had an accident right on top of the floor, but no casualties, besides the creeper. But no matter, as the corner was out of the water. A witch even came by to check it out, but she's too ratty, so not welcome. At this point, I had lost 2 sponges to the world. But I couldn't let that stop me. I felt the momentum now. The game must have 2, as I got another pearl. So after a set of refreshments, I got right back to it. I pushed through everything. Thunderstorms, my helmet breaking, an efficiency 5 shovel. I didn't have to push through that one was pretty cool. At this point you're probably realizing, is it just gonna drain for a whole episode? And the answer is yes, I am. I thought I was gonna be able to do it on more, but it took so much longer than I expected. I wasn't even joking about the no sleeping too. This version took the longest to play out of all of them. Well, besides 1.16, but no spoilies. I started to record in different ways too. Mostly because I thought you'd see me place enough sponges and break enough sand. So quick cinematic shots. At this point I had enough land to be able to bring friends over. But I had to give it more thought as the massive rabbits wouldn't go on my boat. Probably a sinking hazard. So instead I picked up dirt, landed a trick shot and continued draining. Guardians are really starting to munch together. Must be because I'm done. But at what cost? Very happy I was able to get over the draining, and to the last step, making it pretty. So I replaced the floor with grass. Trespassers wanted to take down the wall, but they were swiftly taken care of. Next, I placed a marker dirt so I could see where the start of the ramp will be, and started the process of glass placing. It's a dangerous job, as the pressure to perform in this high stakes video can be body exploding. But hey, someone's gotta do it. I ran out of glass though, but seeing it was nighttime, I headed over to the swamp for slime balls. Always a good day when you get to kill a slime. And I guess spiders too. Using my new leads, I grabbed the monster bunnies and took them to their new home. I kinda just wanted to test the concept of bringing them, so after making sure they could make the trip, I left them to their own devices, as I wasn't really ready to house them. So I got going. One more draining. I take it all back. This is amazing. I love it so much, I swear I'm not crazy. Sand was rare at this point though, so I started using gravel. But I was so close to finishing, so I kinda took down a fellow island and drained it all. Mr. 1.8 was so excited he jumped right in. Crafting a new way for the fences. I made sure Mr. 1.8 would stay still because he was taking a lot of unnecessary damage. So after it was safe to do so, I took him down to our new home. RIP Mr. 1.8. Now I would like to invite you all to join me to sing a hymn for Mr. 1.8. And I will drain 1,000 blocks and... Mr. 1.8 is physically, codely, he's dead. But in all our memories, he lives on. 10,000 likes and Mr. 1.8 goes to the ether. With the remaining stone bricks, I made a staircase to the top and created a waterfall to prevent future misery. But water is weird. Super weird. Final product is fantastic though. So once I cleaned up the place, I got Mrs. 1.8, making sure to take my time and safely deliver her. So I crashed my boat and got all the rabbits I could find. And my horse, who doesn't understand how stairs work, but once he figured it out, we made it all safely down like a family. But I was missing a lead, finding it under the monument. How do you even do that? Next, I recharged on diamonds and finally headed into the nether. But not for the fortress, but for lava. Then I went looking for more rabbits, finding a witch hut. These things are everywhere. Still missing a witch though. If you're thinking he seems jumpy now, you'll be correct. There was so much I wanted to do and so little time that my brain was in overdrive. Baby Rabbit didn't appreciate me bringing him back. Now that I had pets, I felt the place looked a bit bland. So I got a ton of flowers, not to plant, but to turn into dye. So I could make colorful glass. Because I still thought I could make my idea come true with 4 days to go. Delusional. My time became even more limited once I found a rabbit hive. RIP random rabbit. And no, not for that one. I wanted green for one of my colors, but while getting them, I found an invisible spider. Awesome. I got my aftershow for the documentary. Not as bad as I thought. While leaving, I found my favorite rabbit, so you know I had to take them all home. A baby grew right in front of my eyes. Scary. Then, with my bouquet of rabbits, I set off to the monument. After getting a bit more diamonds, a rabbit decided to join me in my room. Must be Mrs. 1.8. I wanted to incorporate the new blocks, but can't make stairs, so I started preparing for the dragon fight. And once I was ready, I set off. Finding cool clouds and more rabbits, I triangulated, dug down, right into the stronghold. So searching time began. 3 pearls, that's amazing. So after placing all the ice, it was fighting time. Seeing that the tradition is to finish it before the time runs out, I brought my A game. Also, the water making Endermen forget they're mad at you doesn't work anymore, sadly. But a good snack does. I tested it again and it worked. And before long, I took the final shot and watched the fireworks. So I showed off my new egg and watched the sunset on the final day. Now here's where I will cut back to my world and show the build fully finished, but I won't be doing that, as regardless if this project is a success or not, I will be coming back to this world again. so I'll make a post about the final build either on a small video or in versions 2.0. That does depend on what happens once this goes live. So if you're interested, drop a like, a comment. I'm very happy now that I got a consistent viewing. And that's everything for this episode. Thanks for watching 1.8 and come back next week for version 1.9, the combat update. Ooh, my first controversy, how exciting. So there's been a couple deaths, starting with Random Rabbit from 1.8. Can I help you? This is a sad moment. Whoa, you take a lot of hits. Wow, that took a long time. Then Mr. 1.8, hello?